man. So at this point, I feel like I've been talking to you about our company all morning, which has been good. I got to show you some of the in-house reporting methods that we use. I even got to show you the current reporting that we've used with a client that we already have.
Yes.
And I also got to listen to some of the struggles that you guys face with reporting. So I want to know what you think. Are there any concerns that have started to pop up into your head?
I'm still a little confused as to where the value is with having your company do this instead of our own operations. Would it be worth it? Because Jewel currently has its own form of reporting that gives us a pretty clear picture of our product's representation in the market.
Awesome. And that is a really good point. And I don't necessarily think that we would need to replace all of the form of reporting that you have. What I do think we can bring a lot of value is the reporting the reporting consistency that you've been getting from the retailers. Earlier you mentioned that with so many retailers, they have their own form of reporting that you then have to funnel into your reporting software. And I mean, it makes sense. There's going to be different planograms in stores depending on what floor plan they have, where they have room for your signage, and whatever other point of purchase displays that you might have. But with our team, you would have a dedicated field force that is focused solely on your product and your signage, and they will all be, no matter what retailer they're in, they're going to be reporting in on the same in-house software that we use. And you will actually get to play a role in building the software reporting to pick up whatever data points you deem important for tracking the success of a product and how well your product is being represented in those stores.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking, Jewel's operated independently since, its birth. I want to know why you think that we should change that now. Like, what are your opinions on that?
Thank you for asking, actually. And you guys have done a great job here at Jewel of creating a name for your company. I mean, as young as you are, for having 80% of the market last year in electronic cigarette sales is huge. And I think moving forward, it's good. The thing to look at is, okay, we have 80% of the market. How can we hold on to that, right? So you're not just something like a company passing by.
Yeah.
And bringing in external resources is going to be key to keeping that portion of the market, as well as keeping it consistent. How is your product consistently displayed the way you would like it to be displayed? Are the marketing goals that you have set in place consistently reached?
Yeah, that's very important to me. And I just wanted to talk to you a bit about price, because the service seems quite expensive. We're at a point where I'm not sure we can be taking these kinds of risks.
Definitely understandable. With every service you're going to be bringing in, there is definitely going to be a price, and a price is a risk. It really is.
Yeah.
I would also like to focus on the fact that with the risk, there's normally a reward. And the reward with our company is that you're going to get all of these services, and we have a lot of different pricing models depending on what level of service you would like us to have, because we've talked about our own logistics operations. We have a couple warehouses at our disposal that many of our clients utilize to help carry out the shipping of materials and shipping directly to our reps or to the store. That way those companies wouldn't have to worry about it. There's also companies who use us simply for continuity, which is going in and auditing stores to make sure the stores that they sent products to are setting those products to their liking.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, aside from all of that, which sounds pretty good, I'm just a little worried because we have a big launch coming up that would, it would give us more data that would help us reach a decision, and I was thinking maybe we could talk about that next quarter.
Okay, that's definitely understandable. If there's a big launch coming up, this would be an even riskier time
Yes.
to jump into business with a company like that would help with these kinds of launches. Now, since we're talking about that launch, I think that our company could kind of give a great example of the value that we bring with tracking the success of big launches like these. Like, depending on what term of service you provide, our company would be helping with the logistics of this launch and shipping stuff to the store, or our reps going in and setting the displays or whatever you're shipping to the store up instead of the store associate and then reporting such. Or it could just be tracking the completion, and that would be like those continuity visits that we talked about. They would just have data points to check compliance on, did the store set it, how well did they set it, was it set to the liking. And I think that us meeting after the launch would kind of be counterproductive when we would be able to show the value that we bring and bring that value for you during the launch itself. So since we're on that topic, and I think since I've kind of quelled some of the concerns that you have and got to talk all morning about our company, would you be interested in working together in this launch in some way?
Yeah, I think I'd be willing to give it a shot. Do you have an estimate on cost?
Okay, so that will be depending on how much of a service we're going to provide with you guys. How many locations is this going to be?
2,000.
2,000, okay. And as for shipping and logistics, for that aspect, have you already started the logistics process for this?
Yes,
you did? Okay. So what my recommendation for this would be, especially since we're just looking at starting working together, it'd be almost a trial run, just to give you an understanding of what our reporting methods are and how much you're able to manipulate with that to track whatever data you want to. So I would look at continuity visits. So if you're going and having the store set, we would be sending our reps in at the completion of this project to all 2,000 locations and have them audit the store, which is essentially, and this will be dependent on what questions you would like to be asking the field. But essentially it'd be, okay, was the product received here? Was it set? Was it set correctly? And how does it look now? Did they downstock the display? Is it stocked? Is the product represented in the way you would want it to be represented? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so for those 2,000 stores, we have a fee of $35 an hour. So we would just have our reps go in and they're just gonna audit the store and make sure everything is set, and then they're gonna complete reporting, which will then get pulled into our system. So let's say 2,000 locations, $35 an hour, we're gonna be looking at $70,000. Not a huge chunk, but it's gonna be a great way for both of us to kind of dip our toes in the water and see what a relationship between our companies would look like.
Okay. Yeah, this all sounds good. Is there a next step that you'd like?
Yes, okay, so next step, I'm gonna have you sign some papers. Essentially, they're just documenting that our two companies are agreeing to start working together